Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. Today we're going to give a small update of what the price has been doing since for lower call, going to the upper side from this area. Hopefully you enter with me as well. We enter around the 113,000 and then I was calling it that we're going to go all the way up to the previous high. Now the question is, after we have this drop, if we were going to continue dropping or not. I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing with my trade, with the futures one and with the spot one, and where we have the higher possibility to go up. But before that, I want to also give you a crazy news that just happened. Like European citizens, potentially they're going to be paying global taxes. I think that I'm not 100% if this was really approved or they just create the amendment and they still need to be approved. But this is something I remember I hear for first time in 2024. But France already is planning to tax all the citizens in global income if they move to a region with tax of 15% lower the price, which is completely insane. Because if you personally doing well as a private person, as a company, if you entrepreneur and you want to, you will be building already for many years, your business, which also is not easy because you have a lot of bureaucratic shit, and plus the taxation they go to up to 50% and they completely rip you off like that. Plus on top of that you have inflation, you have the basement currency, and yeah, I mean it's no worth it. But in the case that you pass all that and then you finding your business growing and having this development that everybody expects as an entrepreneur, and you decide to go, you're gonna be taxed global. So this is just showing how the EU is completely bankrupt, and there are more countries to follow, which is the craziest thing, because looks like the trend is just going up in order to control more the citizens and take tax as much as they continue printing euros. The other one is the Netherlands proposing a new exit tax. I don't know exactly what they have right now. Let me know in the comments below if you're from Netherlands, which kind of the exit tax they have for the citizens. This one will be for the ones who leave the country to pay an income and presumably capital gains as well. Well, taxes for 5 years after leaving this country. So you're going to be punished for contributing to the economy for 5 years after you left the country. And I seen something like that is what's happening already in Spain. We see, on global income you get taxes if you're citizen on global income for 4 extra years if you move to a country classified as tax haven. Okay, so you need to move to another country where you have a high taxation, like 40 or 20, 50, whatever, and they don't call it tax haven. And also the question is, what are tax haven for them? No, because once you move, they just hate you. It can get worse and worse and worse. Germany already have it, and Norway as well, and UK not sure if they have, but at least they tax in their citizens globally. It will come for sure, because the trend is just going in one direction. And it's just crazy, guys, because you cannot really develop yourself as an entrepreneur in Europe, and this is why you should just leave. If you're there, or if you're planning to grow a business, it's not really worth it to do it there, because then you're gonna have all what they point that's happening in the no democracy countries actually happen over there in their land, and they I don't know how people cannot really see that. And this is not only about taxes, it's also about the control, the civilian and the war mobility that they have, every citizen, every company. And this is what Bitcoin entered to play a big role, because it doesn't really ask you where you live. It doesn't really care across border. It's the first real tool for financial freedom in the completely world. So that's why you should just put your wealth on Bitcoin, and then there's nothing that can stop it. You can just move all around borders without any question, without nobody to know. And like you're saying, it's not about taxes. It's just about the control they want to have every time more and more and more. And the citizens and it's just the entrepreneur mindset. If you're doing well, you cannot do well for yourself. How insane is that? How? This is also why Europe doesn't have any good tech in their land, because they just want to rip them off. And that's why they gonna be falling in the following years. Something really crazy as well is something else that I would never expect that Euro would do it. Well, now with all this news, I mean, since the COVID and the CBDCs, I mean, it's not really unexpected, because this is just like the normal now in the EU. They propose this law with 19 EU members are backing it, and this is to take the completely control of the chat. This is for the whole big company, WhatsApp, Signal, and this is by October. I wonder if it's really true by October. I remember they were like already working on it from this at beginning this year, last year, and Signal they give this statement that if they approve this law, they would shut down all the servers. So let's see if they do it or not. So hopefully we're gonna have more options. And I wonder what they're gonna do. Do they gonna force the companies to give all the information? Because what they want to do is actually to the companies that give the whole information about your private text before they get encrypted. So like this, they don't break any encryption. They're gonna allow to have encryption, but you need to share the information before it's encrypted. How stupid is that? Come on, man. And I wonder if they're gonna force the companies to do that, or already on the phone that are being sold in Europe, they're gonna have this option to share completely your information to them. And as I was reading as well an article, they gonna be checking all that information with AI, and the AI gonna be deciding if you are out of law or not with the messages or whatever you're sharing with your friends, with your family, or whatever. So it's really authoritarian, and the approach from the EU here, which is completely insane. And like in something ironic that just happened, like Lena is saying, on the left you have the democracy, on the right the dictatorship. And just listen to this.
Be happy that they are in a free country. Let's be happy that they are in a free country, like Finland, where the free speech is a right.
And then shutting out this guy. Come on.
If they would be in Moscow, they would be in jail in 2 minutes.
Free speech. This is how democracy and the free speech work in Europe. And they're gonna come after you if you're doing well. If you're doing well, if you're developing, you're growing a business, you're being part of the economy. Even if you in order with all the compliance with taxes, they're gonna come after you if you're wealthy. So that's why you should think twice. Which kind of assets are you holding? Are you gonna hold before something happened to you? And as we saw, we said already, Bitcoin is the solution for all this messed up. This is just not going to stop. It's just gonna go harder and harder and harder and harder when they realize that they cannot control more all what they're printing, and inflation just going up the roof. So now, after all this insane news, I want to go back to the price action and have a little bit more of peace mindset for do one night trade, because after those news, I mean, and it's completely insane. But I would never be expecting that times before, but now we know how authoritarian they're getting, and this is not good. So if we want to just have our freedom back, Bitcoin is the solution. I have been repeating that many times, and we're never going to get tired of saying it, because for first time, we have this option. Before we didn't used to have it, and now you, me, and everybody have the option to just take the freedom again with our hands and with our mind, and we can just move around the globe with our key phrase and nobody gonna know. So let's check the daily. And the daily, I was calling already to this one. No, let me check first the first hour, because I was mentioning about the consolidation we're gonna have. And actually we did the consolidation. We went to touch the orange line, you see, and this is really important because you need to know that the values here not only show the direction, if it's negative or green gonna go up. It's not really like this, but also it show you the time. For that, I have been explaining a lot more other videos what actually the 4-hour chart means, and the daily means also the 1 hour. I think the 1 hour never say, but it's like around 6-8 hours. What's gonna happen in the next 6 to 8 hours? And we saw already the pattern here of the valley already in the half of the way. Let me show you here. Over here we can see already in the half of the way, and we have this drop. We're already on the half. So also the Fortuna line was in a negative direction. This means that it won't go down with trend. So we're not expecting the price to go to zero. We're just expecting to bounce around this area. And then also the volume, you can see the volume is not big as well. This is a really important indicators to keep in mind in order to know what's gonna happen. And also now we're gonna observe the 4 hours. The 4 hours I was talking about the fractals as well. That if we see already in the first 1 hour that we're gonna have this consolidation, it's gonna happen as well in the 4 hours. So right now, after this drop, we have, I'm going to repeat again because this is something important to keep in mind, because next you're always going to be hearing all this noise of people just promoting a lot of FOMO, and many people are going to fall into that. Every time we're going to reach the previous top, there is a highest possibility that we're going to have this pullback. And there is also exists the possibility, just to know again, I'm going to repeat, in this area and never enter, because the risk is higher than the reward. That's why I have been saying in the past videos, when you're going to close to the previous high, there is no way to enter over here. And what is happening right now, I'm thinking, I don't think, maybe the best option now to enter, we have the chance, if you have not entered yet, is around the 15,200 more or less in this area. But what I'm expecting for the price, we're gonna have a small consolidation. They just keep track on it. Maybe we have the small consolidation, we just smash this in this direction. But if we smash it, I would expect the price to go up, liquidate everybody, go down, we confirm in this area, and then we continue the upper side. This is something to keep in mind for the next days to come. Normally during the weekend, stay a little bit chill. The price doesn't make that much, but next week we will have, or Sunday, we will start to see if we already continue to, well, between the next hours and tomorrow, so it will be enough to see if we have this consolidation around the frame, exactly how we were doing in this area over here. And yeah, we may try to reach again this area, but if you still not inside any trade in futures, which is like 4 hours, because this 4 hours will be just for 2 days, so I won't say I will stay more than 2 days in a trade. And this is also, I want to show you, I was posting this, I did took this, I think it was the, yeah, it was the, like the same day I took the this entry was around 113,700. I got a nice 25%, and then I close it, and I enter. I was doing the video as well. I enter as well, more or less the same price, and yeah, I went out over here in the 117. There was, let me show you. Yeah, around 117, 118. Let me show. Let's check. So I enter. I was calling to this in the video before. From here, more or less. 117, yeah, almost to the top. Why? Because all this area is like the risk, like I'm saying, is higher. I could just leave the trade open, but yeah, I think I'm gonna find for another entry point and then go really high, really strong in the trade to the upper side. This is just future, so it doesn't really matter in the futures if you sell or not. It's not for holding. If you, and now I'm giving the update of the daily one, and the daily one I still have it. I did enter. Let me show you the daily one. Remember that it's around the next 2 weeks, and the price is still, I'm expecting to go up. We're potentially going to break the all-time high, but don't expect as well that we could, once we go in this direction, we're going to have as well, even we break and then we retest, or we're going to have a rejection around the 120, because it happened all the time, and this will be an exception. Exactly what I just explained you in the 4-hour chart. Let me see now. So what the price is doing right now, let me just mark over here. Yeah, the best area will be this 20. I don't think that we're gonna go there. The 115, 200 potentially, like I was saying, is still in play. So, but lower than that, it's a little bit difficult. Remember, there is just possibilities, but the higher possibility and probability is to go higher. I don't really care about this candle, because this candle is just come to liquidate everybody who enter where you don't need to enter. And the 117, everybody who entered 117, 116, this candle just came all the way here to liquidate everybody, because and the 4 hours and the 1 hour and the minute, all this is just a business. So you need to take it like this. This is not for holding. This is just to accumulate more sats, and it's the only chance, the only way to accumulate more. If you have a pile, or if you have the printer, like the Federal Reserve, I mean, you don't need to be waiting for these pullbacks, and you can just buy and hold. But and the daily is still, I haven't changed enough at all. The you can see already the Fortuna line is going in a negative direction, so this means that the price is stopped to drop, because the direction say that we were falling, and this is what happened over here. Now stop. We still not start. We haven't even started the green valley, the direction of the positive wave, and we're already going up. So this is super bullish, because I do think that once we start creating this green valley, which is going to be the direction we're going to start towards the positive upper side, plus the Fortuna line and negative side, we're going to start bending to the upper side, and the timing is perfect. The timing is perfect. I do think that we're going to continue in the next weeks in this direction. At least let me mark it here. Let's see. Let me just leave it here for, at least we're going to go and reach this area. To this area. And like I was pointing to, the SNR is going to be from here to there. We reach this area, we go down, or the other scenario will be we go up to liquidate everybody who was entering a short. After that, we go down, confirm, and we continue going up. Remember that this is for the next week. Don't think this projection is for tomorrow, and hopefully to help you already to don't be scared with this candle, because remember the candles mean nothing. So you always need to pay attention to the time, the Fortuna line, and the volume that we have in the price action of Bitcoin. And at the moment, there is nothing to be scared in the daily. We still continue with the same projection from yesterday. And if you want to enter in a better trade, I already point to you around this area, 15,200 would be the best price, but I wouldn't be too optimistic we're gonna go and touch that that area. So around above this orange line, 115, 716, it's fine. You can just enter and hold it. And remember always the stop loss, because you don't want to liquidate your capital. So hopefully this helps you to have a cold mind and don't FOMO. Let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow, guys.